Huge summer sale going on through the 16th of August. 20% off ceramic paints, 30% off window treatments, and lots more. Stop in and visit them. West Side Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Well, good morning to you on a Monday. Brand new week and the first full week in the month of August. And we are delighted to have you with us on this Monday. We'll have open phones this hour at 989-752-6111. And next hour, we're going to be chatting with Dan Streeter from the Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Their summer match is on. And at 11 o'clock, big fishing tournament coming to the area, Major League Fishing. We'll learn about that on Focus. That's what's happening on this Monday, but as I said, it's open phones for this first hour. I pulled some things down. One of them, I think this was in the, I'm not sure if it was in the Free, I think it was in the Free Press. Might have been, I'm going to stay with the Free Press. I think it was in the Free Press. It was an opinion piece written by Andrea Bitely, who I'm not familiar with, but sure like the way she wrote. The headline of it is, "In Lansing, political posturing has replaced governing. Voters are sick of it." And I read this. It's way too long to read the whole thing to you, but I want to just read the first couple of paragraphs here because they say it all. She says, "I'm generally a fan of Michigan's current legislative setup. That is, a Republican House and a Democratic Senate. Divided government demands negotiation and compromise. Agreements have to happen in order for the people's work to get done. Or that's how it should work. But in 2025, that's not what we're seeing. Instead of progress, there's gridlock. And it's getting harder to have confidence in our state government. Just 6 bills have been signed into law this year. Not one of them a budget bill. And speaking of the budget, as lawmakers' summer recess started, the state budget still wasn't done. Not technically due till the end of September. In recent years, though, before the summer break's been an indicator that Lansing was on some level working." And she goes on to talk about why it's not. But she also brings up something interesting, and I've thought about this, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. But what she points out in this opinion piece is that because of the political posturing going on in Lansing and nothing getting done, the citizens are open to an independent candidate. And think about that, because in this upcoming governor's race, there is one who has a name for himself, and that's Mayor Duggan. He has chosen to run as an independent, and I can see that. I don't know if I can see him winning or not. That depends how well he's going to do getting name recognition out into the hinterlands and Upper Peninsula and all over the rest of the state. But if she's right in her opinion piece, times are looking better for him than they have maybe for other independent candidates in the past. Because I think she's right. And we here in the 35th Senate District are really fed up, but not so much with the legislature. We're fed up with the governor, who hasn't called for a special election so that we get representation in the Senate. After Christian McDonald Rivet went to Congress, the 35th senatorial seat opened up, and she has not called for a special election. And there's been a lot of posturing and speculation. And in my world, the way I look at it, I think it's a political question for her. She can't afford to lose that Senate seat, and she's taken a look at the 35th District, which used to be solidly blue, but that's no longer the case. It's purple. And it's split purple, and it could go either way. So she's saying to herself, well, I can't afford to lose that seat. So in the meantime, we go without representation. So I think, this writer, Andrea, has got some very good points. And are we ready for an independent candidate? I think if the parties don't get their act together, I think she may be right. Time will tell. All right, let's see here. We've got Mark, who says he's in West Branch today. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Good.
Hey, over the last, couple years, and then lately, we've had smoke alerts as far as elevated breathing and carcinogens in the air. And in the wintertime or springtime, when we get frost, or anything like that, we get crop damage, let's say the blossoms and so forth get freezes and stuff. What about like the organic farms that have like wheat farms and stuff like that? With all these smokes, can you still consider it an organic farm when it rains and all the atmosphere smoke goes down into the soil?
Yeah.
Does anybody do soil samples and stuff? Is it really organic still?
Well, it's organic because they're not applying anything to it. They're not adding chemicals.
When it
In
rains,
other words,
though,
but that's natural.
Into the soil?
No, but that's natural. It's not organic.
Well,
It's not non-organic. It's organic. When it rains, that's Mother Nature.
Yeah, well, you typically don't burn stuff to put it in your fields to make it natural, right?
Well, but you're not burning stuff to put it in the fields. This is a long way off, and by the time that pollutant reaches the soil, it's pretty well thinned out.
Okay.
If not drowned out by the rain.
I didn't know if there was long-term effects or if it affects organic, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah, I don't think I'd worry about that too much.
All right, fair enough.
All right.
All righty, sir.
Good enough, thanks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
989-752-6111, the number to call. Smoke it's an issue, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I drove in this morning, and I could squarely look at the sun. It was just an orange ball in the sky that had no impact on your vision or anything. It wasn't even hard to look at because it was hazed over. So, yeah, the smoke is there. But in my world, anyway, I don't, not going to lose any sleep over it. All right, we're going to take a break, come back, and we will get to our next caller when we return.
Making your summer travel.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. We'll get back to our phones. Mike is in Thomas Township. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How you doing this fine morning?
Good.
They've been able to breathe, huh?
Yeah.
I think the Canadians are just trying to get back at us because of Trump's comments about making them a state. But gosh, that's a lot of timber that they're burning up, and they don't really have any, like the firefighting like we do. They do have some, but and the only time they worry about it is if it gets near a major city. So, man, they burn up a lot of timber.
Well, it's the second year in a row. But they're not the only ones. So does California.
Yeah. Well, it was very noticeable. I noticed yesterday, and I thought it was worse yesterday than today, quite frankly. But
it was bad this morning when I came to work and looked at the sun, and it was just an orange ball that had no glow to it. It was just an orange ball hazed over. Yeah,
well, it's about the same for me when I was going over the gym, but I just, the smell, I mean, it was, yesterday I could really, really smell it. So, well, anyway, that isn't why I really called in about, I'm wondering how many people are going to keep on voting Democratic when they keep on doing this, they're trying to gerrymander. They're it seems like they're worried more about their.
Whoa! Wait!
I know Republicans do it too.
The Democrats are not trying to gerrymander. The Republicans are doing it in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas, but out in the East Coast.
Oh, they do it everywhere.
Too. Because they're just trying to get their majority, which I wish both parties would just go about governing the country and don't worry about this stuff all the time. Only thing they think about is getting reelected.
Well, it's because he who has the power wins.
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to be what the people want, not what they want.
Well, people are the voters, so we get what we want.
Yeah.
May not agree with it, but we get what we want.
Well, yeah, a lot of people just vote no matter what, Like if Satan were running and was a Democrat, they'd vote for him,
Well, Republicans do the same thing, so what's different?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that because
we're
having a lot of problem with. I would like to see more governing happening right now because we're in a situation right now where we could really, really get this country motivated and moving along, but there's still so much infighting and stuff, just the first administration that he had, he couldn't get anything done. He kept on, suing him, bringing up stuff, and it's all been proven wrong now, which is, but they wasted a whole administration by what they did.
Yeah, well, I don't see it changing. Not anytime soon.
Right now it isn't because they're still doing the same thing. They already said that if they could get, win the House, they would, do it again to them, and it's just silly, I think. But people keep on electing them, and that's the way it's going to be. I'd like to see this, the economy. Right. I mean, he had a hell of an economy to start with, and, because of the Biden administration for 4 years really ran it into the ground.
All right.
And people expect it to be corrected immediately, and I think it's going to take at least half of his term to get some results on the.
Well, he's got till next spring because after that, voters are going to start thinking about the next election. So, all right. Oops, sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to disconnect you, but I did. Paul, good morning to you. I pushed the button accidentally. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Art. Art, I'll tell you how you remove the gridlock. As I've said on your show in the past, before you moved here in the 70s, back in the 50s and 60s, we had only 2-year terms for all state and local elective offices, including judges. There was much more working back and forth across the aisle with each other. Back then, they got more things done back then. There was less infighting. More things just were better organized and better settled
Paul,
back then.
Paul.
What?
You're living in the past. Because
the past just happened to be right.
No. Right. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll tell you how we get back there. Take away social media, take away the internet, take away the way we communicate today, and go back to the way we did it in the 50s and 60s, and then you'll have what you want.
Well, all I'm saying is that everything seemed to work a lot better.
And all I'm saying is times were different.
They compromised much more than they do today.
Sure they did.
It's all about obstruction and denial of the other side what they want. That's all it is on both sides.
Yep. And they got the communication tools to tell you all about it.
That's right. And so if you return back to the 2-year term for everybody, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more cooperation between the two parties.
No, I don't think
so.
And
more things will get done.
I don't think so. You got 2-year terms in the House right now. You got 2-year terms in the House right now. Do you think anything's moving on?
Say that again?
Or you already have 2-year terms in the House.
Well, it's the Senate.
Well, what about
it? Senate. Doesn't the Senate get a 4-year term?
Yep. So
well,
what?
There you go. Return it back to 2.
Why? What will that do?
it'll force them to communicate more and get things done because they know they're up for election in 2 years. So they got to give the voters what they want. If they don't give the voters what they want in that 2 years, they're going to vote them out.
Well, I haven't seen it.
Somebody else in there.
50 years ago that may have been true. Today, not so much.
Well, unfortunately, today is worse.
Well, today is where we live, though.
Yeah, but it's worse today than it was back then.
And I gave you the reasons. Social media, internet.
I gave you the reasons, too.
All right. Good enough.
All right.
Thanks, Paul.
Later.
And here's Scott in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Yeah, I wanted to agree with you here on Governor Whitmer, how she's not breaking the law, but kind of skirting the law by not doing this vote here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not the law, it's just incorrect. But, again, it is kind of the norm for the Democrats. Here we go again in Texas now where they're fleeing again. Democrats are fleeing a vote once again, fleeing the state. I think this is the second time in, 4 years they've done this.
I was thinking the same thing this morning when I was reading about it.
And then if we look back just a little bit, we had the Tennessee Three when they went up there with blowhorns and went in and disrupted the vote. We had another Democrat hold the fire alarm. So it's just kind of amazing how these days, this is what I've been saying about the Democratic Party. They've lost their way. They no longer can come to the platform, have a debate, and honestly speak out with words what they actually want to do. They can't get their way no more, so they burn, they trash, they destroy. We're seeing what's going on now with what's being uncovered from the FBI through the burn bags and all this stuff in the media. Radon Q comes forward and says, Donald Trump's making accusations with zero proof. But once again, that's just irresponsible of the media lying. And so, again, it just proves my point about the Democratic Party. And again, your last caller said it. Why would anybody be voting anymore for these people? They're just a foul group of people. I'm not saying all Democrats, but the people in office seem to be very foul and misled and deceived.
Well, the reason they vote for him is half the country doesn't agree with you. That's the reason.
Exactly, because they're deceived with them.
Well, that's the way you view it, and it's not the way they view it. They think they're right. So, that's, you got to admit it. If you don't admit that, you'll never defeat them.
Well, if the media was giving actual information, the Democrat Party would be much more aware of what is actually going on. But instead, they are deceived right now because the media is lying. Donald Trump and them have proof. What's his name there? Obama and Brenner and them guys were doing.
Yep.
They have proof of it. We have all the proof. This stuff's been uncovered. And it's just sad that the media is going to continue, though, with the lie, and the Democrats will follow it.
All right. Fair enough.
So, all right, Art.
Enough,
Thank
Scott.
you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. And we'll get to Al and Sean in just a couple of moments here on WSGW.
You got my vote.
All right.
I think he's
That's good.
doing good. So
Excellent.
thank you.
All right. Take
Yep.
care. Bye-bye now. Up in Bay City, we have Sean. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Art. Now, the last time we were talking, you told me you were going to help me not make a fool out of myself.
What was the conversation? I don't remember.
Well, we were talking about the distortion policy with the FCC, and you were telling me.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the deal. Public interest obligation. Broadcasters are licensed to serve the public interest, and intentional news distortion is seen as a violation of this. That's what I was talking about. Art,
Wait, I'm gonna stop you because you've already proven my point. I want you to read the first line again.
ABC, NBC.
No. That's not what you said. That is not what you said. That is not what you said.
Will not explicitly codify as a rule.
Not what you said.
Okay?
Read it again.
Only investigate claims that include evidence showing that the broadcast news report was deliberately intended to mislead viewers or listeners. Evidence may include testimony from persons who have direct and personal knowledge of intentional falsification. The FCC does not require cable to do that, but CBS, NBC, ABC, absolutely.
No.
And do you think news distortion goes on, Art? Absolutely it goes on.
Well,
so I'm trying not to embarrass yourself. Right? I'll never lie to you, Art. I will never lie.
No, but you can misinterpret.
No, I didn't misinterpret anything.
Well, okay.
You
all right.
don't
That's
know
fine.
what you're talking about.
I've only been doing it 63 years, so I guess I don't know anything about my business.
So I'm lying. You're telling me I'm a liar.
I'm telling you misinterpret. You have to have you got to have a license.
I don't understand.
NBC.
I don't understand.
Well, I'm going to explain it to you.
NBC.
NBC. Are you going to let me talk? If you're not going to let me talk, I'm going to take you down. All right, now I took him down. Now here's the deal. NBC, CBS, ABC are networks. They, in some cases, own a certain amount of radio stations. And those radio stations are subject to licensing. But the networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, as entities are not licensed. They're businesses owned by big corporations. The stations they own are licensed, and they come under that governance.
You're ignorant, Art.
Okay.
You're ignorant on the subject.
Good. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Everything, right?
Bye, Sean. All right. Here is Mark in Sanford. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Take a breath, buddy.
Oh, no, why? It's fun.
Morning.
It's fun.
They're hard on you this morning. So my comment is, I hate to use names, but Scott is so much against Democrats. He puts everybody in a category, and believe me, I'm on his side. But to alienate and to isolate people because of that will never win them over or change their opinion. They're just going to dig in deeper. So my thought would be, figure out a way to explain this without picking and using the thoughts of Democrats. And I get where he's at, but let's just try to say people who have the opinion that are in the wrong spot, maybe we can bring them over and let them see the light because I believe they just dig in deeper.
Well, I think you're right, and I don't think we're going to do that until we talk to them, not at them.
Exactly what I'm trying to say.
So
I didn't say it as good as you, but
well, it's always been that way. If you dig in and everything on the other side is wrong and only you're right, it's not a survivable position because in the end, eventually you will lose.
And we can't ever get them to ever cross over because they're so worried about digging in that they have the blinders on.
Yep. It's the nature of the beast. Politics today has become nasty, and I blame a lot of that on social media, the internet, and what have you. We have so many more ways of communicating. We're hit over the head with it day after day after day.
I get it, buddy.
It's not going to change. Not anymore.
I know, but we got to bring those people to light and not – because as soon as you call them out for who they believe in and degrade them, they've got their guard up. They're not going to change their opinion and switch.
Nope, absolutely. But again, it goes back to what I said. We got to sit down and talk to them.
Right. I agree with you, Mark.
So
you have a good day, sir.
Hey, listen, thanks for calling. Have a good one. Bye-bye now. All right, 946 here on WSGW, 989-752-6111. Let me take a moment to talk about my friends at Quick Lane Freeland and McDonald Ford, because Quick Lane Freeland and McDonald Ford are together to service all of your needs. Now, one of the things Quick Lane understands is that this has been a bad allergy season, and they want to keep you healthy in your car as you drive. And they have a product called FrigiFresh. It's in your car's air conditioning system. And to learn more about it, here's John from Quick Lane Freeland.
FrigiFresh. Hi, John from Quick.
We say hello to Gene in Bay City.
Good morning.
Morning.
There's so much going on. It's mind-boggling. This report that came out about the jobs and so on, and Trump fired the lady in charge of that. Do you think that was fake?
What was fake?
the report on the jobs and?
No, it was revised.
So you think it was correct?
Well, they've done it all the time. I mean, they've done it for years. They revised the job numbers. That happens all the time. If you're asking me if I think you should have fired her, my answer is probably no.
Thank you. You know, you turn on the TV and you see starving people, starving children all over. And, you know, Musk, you know, the food program we had sending food overseas, he cut that, said it was a lot of fraud in that, and probably there was some. But do you think the American people have become so cold-hearted they just don't care that there are people starving all over the world?
No.
No.
I don't think so. And I think we still do provide a lot of food. We just don't hear about what we are doing.
Trump is planning on building a big $200 million ballroom onto the White House. With things, the way the world situation is, and the uncertainty of what's going to happen in the immediate future, what do you think of him doing that?
Don't lose any sleep over it. It'll never happen.
You don't think it'll happen?
Nope.
Well, like I always say, I hope you're right.
Well.
You're always optimistic about this stuff, and I hope you're right. But it's, I don't know, it's to the point I hate to turn the TV on anymore. Because
Well, that's part of the problem that I described earlier. It's how we communicate with each other today. You know,
it's
Paul
so
wanted
sad.
to go back to the 50s and 60s. Well, guess what? We didn't do that back then.
Yeah, I just, it seems like people are so heartless anymore. I don't know how
You know why,
anybody
Gene?
can look at.
Gene, they're the only ones you hear about. Everybody else, you know, we all get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, we take a shower, we put our clothes on, we go to work. And most people do that regularly and are good, kind, considerate people. They're not the ones you hear about. You only hear about the negatives.
Well, you know, Bill Gates he has started a charity. He's planning on giving away 90% of his money.
More power
over
to him.
The next 20 years.
More power to him.
So wonderful, and Buffett is putting money into that too.
All right, I got to get one more call in, Gene, so I'm going to have to cut it off.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And Carl, we got a couple of minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Art. Just welcome to the month of August, I would say first.
Yeah, thanks.
Going back to, the calls, Scott's call about, all Democrats are in league with the devil. And I liked your caller after that, calling for, talking to people, rather than yelling at them and calling them names.
Well, and here's the thing. You can disagree with someone, you can still like them. You and I probably don't agree on much, but I like you as a person, and I know I'm friends. I mean, so it's, we can discuss it. We will have differences, and we'll have some things we agree on. But that doesn't impact how I like you. I don't like a person or dislike a person because of their politics.
Right. And I enjoy our discussions, but I don't enjoy talking to people who just, everything is black and white. One side is absolutely right, one side is absolutely wrong, and You can't.
And it's not.
You can't get past that.
No, it's not reality.
You know?
It's not reality.
No, and there's some people you just can't. You know,